Welcome back to the Get Off the Treadmill podcast for small business owners and entrepreneurs, where we show you how to build a successful business and to have a life too. We're going to dive into another topic that helps us make more money in less time and to get off the treadmill so we can experience a life of significance. And now, your host and the author of the #1 best-selling business book, Making Money is Killing Your Business, Chuck Blakeman.
Hi, I'm Chuck Blakeman, and today I would love to talk to you about 3 reasons why all business owners should stop networking. You know, assumptions get us in a lot of trouble, like the sun revolves around the earth. It doesn't. Managers are necessary. They're not. We'll talk about that in future podcasts. Top-down organizations perform the best. They don't. Flat ones but do much better. And one of my favorites, if small business owners stop doing networking, it will hurt their business. It won't. Successful business owners don't go to networking events. We'll talk more about that later. In fact, you might just be better off when you stop going to the networking groups. As Robin Dunbar's 1998 research showed, the maximum number of people the average human can remember and relate to, I think, is about what he said was 148.7 or something, with about 15 people that we would cross the bar to have a beer with, and only 5 with whom we can maintain ongoing, stable, close relationships. Good on you if you beat the average, and here's a solution for the rest of us. If you talk to the gurus about how to grow and maintain a successful small business, just about all of them will trumpet the virtues of getting heavily involved in networking groups and getting to know as many people as you possibly can. The logic is that the more people you know and relate to regularly, the faster your business will grow. That makes sense, kind of. But do I have to do networking? There are at least 3 problems with this idea that I experienced in growing my 13 businesses. Problem number 1, most of us don't like selling. The overwhelming majority of business owners did not get into business to sell. Most of us actually find it emotionally exhausting. Again, great if you're the exception, but 40 years of rubbing shoulders with business owners has shown me that most of them love their craft, not the machinations of business. And stabbing strangers with their business cards to try to sell stuff is at the bottom of their list. They would much rather be making chairs or helping patients, not selling themselves or their products and services. The second problem with this is that it's the wrong focus. As businesses grow, production needs more attention. At the same time, your ever-widening networking activities need you as well. Quality can start to suffer for quantity, and energy is pulled in the wrong direction. And the third problem, we're just not built this way. As Dunbar proved, we are not built to go relationally a mile wide and an inch deep. And thankfully, we don't have to. Don't get me wrong. Networking is a great place to start for just about anybody selling anything. But if it's become a lifestyle, you will likely be a hostage to a very small business the rest of your life as an income producer, not as a business owner. Business owners take days off, and the business makes money when they are not there. Any income producer can take an unpaid vacation, and I did that when I was an income producer. So let's fix this. Here's 3 simple but not easy things we can do to get off the networking treadmill and build a business that gives us real freedom. I'll list them first, and then we'll go a little deeper into all 3 of them. Number 1, replace the transactional model of sales with a relational one. Number 2, stop hunting one customer at a time and find 2 or 3 of what I call lumberjacks. And number 3, stop networking and build a network. Very different than networking. So let's talk first about the transactional versus relational business model, where we no longer have to hunt strangers. For centuries, we bought and sold to our friends. But when the factory system came around, we were told to stop doing that. Go hunt strangers, stab them with your business card, and see if it sticks. This was partially understandable because by 1850, factories were already producing more goods than anyone locally needed. It became a saturation game that focused on the transaction, and the relationship was only as important as needed to get somebody to buy something. We and our customers used to be true friends, even before they bought something. And now we are pretend friends or rent-a-friends, so we can get you to buy. And it often became one-sided. Giant corporations don't even know who you are, but they want you to love them, their mascot, their funny spokesperson, or their wistful model, or whatever other marketing gimmicks they've got, not because they want you to be your friend, but because they want you to think. you are their friend, so you'll buy something. Second, I want to talk about why it's so much more effective to stop hunting one stranger at a time and find what we call lumberjacks. Would you rather go to the forest and chop down a year's worth of firewood and haul it out, or have a friend who's already been to the forest as a lumberjack just deliver wood to you simply because she likes you? Thankfully, if you're a small business owner, you have the unfair advantage of actually being able to connect with just a few friends who've already spent years in the networking forest and have all the relationships with people who could be your ideal customers. And all you have to do is help those 2 or 3 friends see why it would benefit their customers and maybe even them to refer them to you. Most small businesses can grow successfully on the foundation of 4 cohort groups they already know: existing clients, past clients, friends and acquaintances, and just 3 to 5 lumberjacks. Chasing strangers becomes a thing of the past when you build relationships with just a few lumberjacks who have all the clients you want and find value in referring them to you. Third, let's talk about why you should stop networking and replace it with a small network of 3 to 5 lumberjacks. Networking should not be a long-term lifestyle. For successful business owners, networking is a stage they go through and grow out of. It took me like 4 or 5 businesses to do that. I'm a slow learner. The proof is everywhere around us. Successful business owners don't go to networking groups, do they? When I started out, I would be one of the 100 or so vultures hanging on the wire at a networking event, and we're all scanning the room for the one big cow. But the most successful business owners, the ones we would all prefer to work with, had stopped going to networking events and moved on. So we bought and sold to each other and to the few business owners who were about to graduate from networking, but just hadn't moved on yet. What do successful business owners who stop networking know that we don't? For 13 years, I owned 3 companies in the marketing space, and I learned there is good marketing and there is bad marketing. You can always identify bad marketing because the website or ad is trying really hard to sell you something. I had the experience of being sold at, i.e. stabbed with business cards, often at networking groups, and I probably did some of that myself. Good marketing has only one purpose: not to sell something, but to build relationships. As Bob Berg said, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. Marketing should build relationships so people want to buy, and we don't even have to sell to them. We just need to make them aware of what we have and let them choose. But networking definitely works. It's more popular than it was decades ago. So maybe we should get to know as many people as we can, right? Except for the 3 reasons we gave early in the podcast for not doing it. We don't like stabbing strangers with business cards and selling stuff. It's the wrong focus. We should be focused on production and getting better at what we're really good at. And we're not built to develop so many superficial relationships. It's not the human condition. So let's find lumberjacks. I call it being ambitiously lazy. If you have a nearly bottomless marketing budget, you can buy Rent-A-Friends with endless ads that make us all fall for, ducks, geckos, insurance people in barbecue aprons. But buying friends is incredibly expensive, and networking is extremely time-consuming. But unfortunately, to begin with, most small business owners have more time than money, so we spend our valuable time in networking. There's a better way. I call it finding your lumberjack. What if business development was more like building a relationship with your neighbor and having barbecues? Instead of looking for one customer at a time, it is much more effective and powerful to simply find one business owner who has all the customers you want and can see that sending them your way would be beneficial to them and maybe even to the business owner themselves. Instead of going to every networking forest to hopefully find one tree at a time, what if you knew someone who had already been there, been to that forest for years, collected all the wood, all the relationships, seasoned all the wood, seasoned all those relationships, and would be willing to pass them along to you? Building a relationship with that person could change your business, and relating to just a few lumberjacks is a lot more fun. My friend Ella found a copywriter who quadrupled her business with the copywriter's website design referrals that he just kept sending her. She focused on finding 2 or 3 more copywriters and never had to go to another networking event and stab strangers with her business card ever again. Tom went from over 2,200 people in his wealth management business to under 20 clients that produced for him exponentially higher income by simply focusing on building just a few key relationships with people who already had wealthy customers, like a few CPAs and estate planners. Jonas, a commercial real estate agent, had everyone in his company build relationships with the top 5 architectural firms in the city and never had to look for commercial real estate business again. I personally have watched hundreds of business owners make this shift from networking to building a very small network in just about every industry or profession imaginable. I would encourage you to find just a few lumberjacks who have already been to the networking force, who have all the customers you want, and find out how to serve them to build a relationship of confidence where they can see the benefit of regularly sending people your way. And it doesn't have to take years. Ella's first lumberjack quadrupled her business revenue in 4 weeks. Networking may be necessary upfront, but building a network is the only long-term solution to moving from being an income producer to a business owner. Let me expand a little bit on how building a small network is so different from networking. There's a subtle but radical shift in mindset from networking to building a network. Networking is about finding one customer at a time, and building a network is about finding 3 to 5 business owners who have all the clients you want. When that happens, you can join the millions of successful business owners who have graduated from networking because they have built a small network of lumberjacks. For almost 20 years now, we've been training business owners to build these kinds of lumberjack relationships with the simple principle, serve, don't sell. And as we've watched the thousands of business owners and independent agents shift their focus from networking to building a small network of friends, the result has always been that they can sell less, earn more, which conveniently is the title of my new book from Entrepreneur Press on how to do this yourself. Shameless self-promotion emoji goes right here. You can find it on Amazon and select bookstores. Just ask for Sell Less, Earn More by Chuck Blakeman. I made this shift from networking to building a small network of lumberjacks after my 5th of 13 businesses. I told you I'm a slow learner. And it was transformative for me and the next 10 companies I founded. So I'll encourage you to do the same. Move from income producer to business owner. Join the ranks of successful business owners who have stopped networking and have built a small network instead. You'll make a whole lot more money in a whole lot less time, and you will enjoy doing it more. I'll see you in the next podcast.
That wraps up another episode of the Get Off the Treadmill podcast. If you found this podcast helpful, please subscribe and hit the like button to ensure you are receiving the latest tools you need to grow your business and to get off the treadmill. If you want more information on the 3 to 5 Club, the Crankset Group, or to book Chuck as a business advisor, speaker, or workshop leader, you can contact us at grow@cranksetgroup.com. Until next time, have a great week.